forgot my water. All right, you guys. I forgot my water, so you know what? I'm gonna go run and grab some of that really, really quick. And I gotta shut some stuff off. Make sure we are live on all platforms. All right, looks like we're good on Facebook. Where you at, IG? Where you at? This one wants to give me some trouble, huh? Well, you know what? Let's see here, guys. All right, so we should be going here. Copy. You know what? We might just have to upload it because it doesn't look like we're on IG. Let me just double check here. How are you guys? How is everybody doing? I'm Dominique. Welcome in. Welcome in. You're either watching this live or you are. You know what? If it's not working on my thing, I'm just going to go live from my phone. That's what we're going to do. So let's do that. Now, for those of you that are going to be watching on Instagram, you're not going to be able to see, or you might, no, you're not going to be able to see all of the slides that I have, but that is okay. All right, so I'm Dominique, you guys, and we are on Instagram, and we are also over here on Facebook Live. Ooh, y'all, I gotta fix my hair. You guys, so all right, thank you for coming in and checking in, joining us. It is Let's Get You Funded, and I am so beyond excited. I have been looking forward to this all week. Okay, no lie. I have literally been looking forward to this all week. I have so much information to share with you guys, and I'm just so excited. I've gotten a lot of questions about funding, about the partnerships, about strategies. And so I compiled all of that for you guys today so that we can really start to dive into it. So if this is new, thank you guys for tuning in, for coming in. Also, what's the name of your business, right? We want to give you a shout out, promote yourself. If you're in business or if you're just starting a business, if you have an idea and you're just kind of trying to figure out what the next step is, right? Just feel free to share that, right? Engage. So let's go in here. For those of you that are following me online, you can see that we have some slides. But for those of you that are here on IG, then you're just going to have to, use your imagination or come back and watch the recording online. You can come into the back portal and we upload all of our videos there, you guys. So, everything that we discuss, it's going to be back there in the back office for you because I know, we got busy lives. How could you possibly remember everything that we're talking about? But my hope is that there are going to be some things that stick with you today and strategies that you can really take away, because it's frustrating starting a business and when you can't get the funding that you need, right? I'm a female founder myself, so I can tell you, I know all about the struggles, okay? I know how difficult it was. I had horrible credit, okay? No business credit, but I'm telling you, there is a way to get it done, okay? So I'm very fortunate, that I found the cheat code per se on how to be able to access funding. And that's exactly what our platform does. It was created to help other women, other diverse founders get the funding that they need, but not just the funding, right? The educational piece, what do I do next? That stuff. Because at the end of the day, right, you want to make sure that your business is good, right? It's good to grow. You want to make sure everything is in place also so that when you're ready to go out and get that funding, that you're looking for, it's just a lot easier, right? Right, as opposed to going in and getting denied over and over again, and then trying to figure out exactly why you were denied, which is what you want to do. But still, going in and applying and getting denied is frustrating, right? Actually, I don't know if you guys know this, but 42% of women diverse business, they don't even apply. They don't even go and apply, because they think they're not going to get approved. So we're here, we're changing the landscape, and we're actually showing that there is a massive pool of private capital, y'all, that is waiting to be distributed. But it's all about the strategy. So thank you guys again for being here. Make sure that you like this channel, you subscribe, please share, because we want to help make sure that we grow. And the more that we grow, the more that we're actually able to provide through the channels. I'm talking like mentorships. We've got some really great guest speakers that are coming in next month, in the month after. So it's going to be really, really exciting. So now, why why here, right? Why Domino Effects Group? Why even this platform, right? Well, I believe in small business. Small businesses are vital to this nation, you guys, okay? If you have a business, just know you are vital to this nation, okay? I am Dominique, okay? I'm a founder, I'm a mom, I'm a speaker, and, I host The Domino Effect on YouTube. So make sure you head on over there and check that out as well. But why did I even start The Domino Effect? Well, I started this platform because I wanted to create a way and a bridge to help founders access capital and show that it is absolutely entirely possible for you to access capital. Okay. When I entered the alternative finance space in 2019, it was like a whole world opened up. Okay. Alternative finance is literally a game changer. Okay. I entered alternative finance. I was working for an MCA company. And then along the pathway, right, a lot of the clients that were coming in, those that were getting denied, when I would say, what's the next step? Where do they go next? They were all about like just closing the deal, right? We just want to get the deal closed. We just want to get it done. We don't really care what happens next, right? That is a big problem. And that just did not sit right with me. So went out and built the platform, built some amazing resources in private capital, institutional capital, alternative finance, non-bank depositories, and investors that want to invest in you guys. So all we got to do is get the strategies in place, because one other thing that I noticed with underwriting and those underwriting a lot of the applications was what was causing a lot of denials were a lot of little things that could be fixed. Okay. So like documents, credibility, foundation, going back and making sure everything matches. Those are things that could be fixed. And then also, things in how your finances are held. So it really just comes down to like not knowing what you don't know, right? So that's exactly why this platform exists, to be able to provide you with that information, so then you can then utilize it and leverage that opportunity. Okay. So we partnered, like I said, with some really amazing resources. Our partners have already secured over $1 billion. So we're literally taking that and bringing it over. Okay. So guys, if this information is helpful to you, comment, let me know. Give me a shout out. Like I said, where are you from? What's the name of your business? I love to engage and want to answer some of these comments, okay? Because we are on a mission. Domino Effects Group wants to deploy 25 million by the end of 2025. How are we going to do that? Well, we do that by working with you, by providing you with the tools, by providing you with the resources, giving you the free finance assessment so that you can get it done, okay? But you guys, I've worked with a lot of businesses, right? And, they've used funding to start, things like daycare centers and trash companies and, tax, they're tax professionals, online businesses, e-commerce businesses. I've worked with a lot of businesses, and a lot of those that are experiencing even tax liens or that have been declined from banks. We work with many, many businesses that have been declined from banks, right? So I have a true passion for this, you guys. There's a huge passion for this to see you succeed, not just you, but myself, but also the economy, right? The economy, our communities, our family, so you want to be able, for whatever reason, whatever, is driving you in your business, you want to make sure that you're successful in that. So when I know that, in this business, you're going to be using loans for various reasons, right? You need it for equipment, or you may need it for like cash flow, or all kinds of different things. So whatever that reason is, like, what's the reason that you're looking for funding right now? Okay, are you looking for a new piece of equipment? Do you need, some cash flow, right? Because you need to cash in on some inventory, right? You need to get a hold of that at a discounted rate. Or do you need to consolidate debt, right? Or are you having a hardship and you need some assistance? So whatever situation that is, just know that you're not alone, okay? Because I think that that can be really frustrating for a lot of businesses, feeling like they're alone, but you're not alone, you guys, okay? You're not alone, but I'm here to help you. But a couple things we got to do is we got to be aware of some things in our business, okay? You It's not about running a business, is more than just like, this is what I figured out too, is running a business is more than just like your day to day, right? It's also your mindset. Okay, think about, especially as a woman, if we're out here with our businesses, we have our families, our children, and men too. You have your families, you have your children, all of these things that you have going on. It's all about balance as well. So you want to make sure that when you're operating in your business, if you're leaving behind things like fear, like doubt, insecurity, procrastination. When I started my business, I did not think I was going to be an entrepreneur. When I first started, I don't even think I knew what the word entrepreneur was, okay, years ago. I know what a business owner was, but I don't really think I knew exactly like what an entrepreneur was and what that really looked like. And one thing I've learned and am still learning is that if you're operating from like a space of fear, of doubt, insecurity, procrastination, all of this stuff is what do you call that? Well, that's baggage, right? All of it is baggage. So, for having to carry around fear, doubt, insecurity, procrastination in your business, right? If you're procrastinating, you can't get to the profit, right? Because you're always putting everything off. If you're insecure about what you're doing and how are you moving, how are you going to increase income? Right? Because you're so focused on, oh, well, I don't even know if I should say that. I don't know if I should go online. I don't know if I should put myself out there. I'm feeling judged, right? That insecurity. How are you going to increase your income, right? If you're doubting yourself, then you're definitely not going to get anywhere. You're just digging yourself a hole, okay? And then if you're acting like, if you're fearful to ask questions, fearful to look at your finances, right? If you're fearful, then you'll never get to where you're trying to go, that future that you're trying to get to, it will never happen. That financial freedom that you're trying to get to, it'll never happen. So make space, right? Make space, give yourself some grace, okay? And don't hold on to that baggage, whatever that looks like. If you have people around you that are telling you you can't do this, right, just block that shit out, okay? Right, block it out. And then you just keep pursuing and doing what you need to do. And a tip for you, what's extremely helpful and what helped me, was finding your community. Okay, find your people, get in there, and you making sure that you can um, speak freely about these sort of things, because you don't want to be holding on to this stuff. All right, you guys. Right now, I want you to leave a comment if you're going to let this go. Okay. What are you going to be leaving behind? What are you going to let go? Are you going to let go all of this self-doubt that you can't do it? You are going to let go of this procrastination. The people that are telling you can't do it, you let that go. Okay. Let that go. But you have to commit to it. You have to make a commitment. You have to, make that commitment and make sure that, that this is something that you're going to be committed to, right? Because you have to commit to getting rid of all that stuff. If you don't get rid of it, it's just going to hang on, okay? So I want you guys to know, okay, I'm being very, very transparent with you, right? When I started my business, the last thing you feel is confident, right? Some people come right out of the gate, but as you move through, you have to overcome those things, right? And trust me, you can overcome. You can overcome anything, right? As long as you put your mind to it and you believe that you can. But I want you to know you don't need validation from anybody, okay, you guys? Um, you are here, you've come here for a purpose, you joined for a purpose, or you're watching this for a purpose, and you don't need to prove it to anybody else, okay? You don't need validation from your friend, from your husband, from your wife, from your sisters, from your coworkers. You don't have to do anything except learn, come to class, learn the steps, and implement these steps, okay? And you, again, you guys would not be here, okay? You wouldn't even be here if you weren't ready to pursue, right? You wouldn't be here if you were like, man, I'm so sick of just freaking running around, beating my head against the wall, basically, right? So this is the same place that you need to be every single week, okay? Or every time we do one of these webinars, because we're leaving all of that old shit behind, right? All of that old baggage, okay? That all of that energy that you put into doubting yourself, you know what you're going to do now? You're going to put it into believing in yourself. Now you're going to put it into believing yourself because you've already used that energy. So you just used it already, right? So just take that energy of what you're saying and all of that self-doubt or whatever and just switch it over. Just flip it on over, right? All right, now if you're going to flip that energy over, then I want you to comment, flip it, flip it, it's gone. All right, and now if you need help with that, because it's not like it's an overnight process either, then come into the group, come into the community, you have support. So our focus, guys, I'll tell you a little bit about what I believe. At Domino Effects Group, right, our focus is companies in need of capital. Women, female founders, the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, Black women especially, and yet we are severely underfunded, right? We need to get more women in the boardroom, which I'm happy to say more women are actually doing, amazing things, right? You do have more women in the boardroom. You do have more women directors. You do have more women starting businesses. This is great. Now, these are a few of the things that we believe. We believe business owners are rock stars. Their funding options are limited. Alternative capital is the best option for 90%. Domino Effects Group, GRA is one of my partners, is the best sources of capital, and we are going to help you with this free application, free finance assessment, no problem, okay? So a couple of things that we can do is we work with companies, startups, established businesses, and then also companies that are in distress, right? Growing from rapid growth, or distress from either rapid growth or weak financial performance. And then companies that are in non-traditional markets, so, tobacco, e-commerce, things like that. But majority of funding, like I said, is done through our private capital resources. So, excuse me. So here's the problem, guys. Most businesses, they don't know where to look, right? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your bank. And when I'm working with a client, the first thing that we like to ask is, have you been to your bank? Now, why do we ask that? Because if you can go and get funded at the bank, you absolutely should, right? You could, if you can get funding at the bank, go, because they're going to have a better rate. They're going to have better terms for you. Let's see, okay. They're going to have better, there we go. They're going to have better rate. They're going to have better terms for you. Excuse me. But hey, most people can't, okay? Have you been to the bank? What did they say? Okay, send me a DM. Let me know. Okay, let's talk about it. What did they say? What did they tell you? Okay, maybe we can come up with a solution. And so our focus is on women-owned businesses. Now, we work with all businesses, but we are hyper-focused on helping our women founders out there. So if you are a woman-owned business, or if you work with women-owned businesses, if you're a CEO, you're a lawyer, you're a tax, if you're another, we work with many banks. 100% of our referrals come from banks and other people in the finance industry and lending industry. We're very big on partnering and collaborating so that we can continue to create bigger impact. So if this sounds like you, then definitely reach out, because we are hyper focused on working with women-owned enterprises, and we really want to get 10 more funded by the end of the year. So I hope that's you. Are you one of the 10? If you want to be one of the 10 women to get funded, then send me a DM and let's get started. Okay? Because time is your most valuable resource, guys. Um, you can either go online and waste your time with thousands of lenders and um, mess up your credit in the meantime, or you can reach out to an advisor and who works in the industry and has built these relationships up. So we know how to put the package together that it can be that is specifically designed for your unique need. Okay, depending on where you're at, right? So, um, you know, great things can happen, right? But here's some of the reasons. What are some of the reasons why you've needed capital, right? Let's go there. Do you have an opportunity that's coming up? Or maybe do you have a situation? Ooh, where's my water? I might have to get up and go get that in a little bit. But typically people have an opportunity that comes up or they're faced with a challenging situation. So which one is it going to be for you, right? Um, so what you could do is go to our website and then fill out this simple questionnaire. We'll reach out to you and we will help you figure this out. Because a lot of banks, like I said, they will lend, right? It's not like they don't want to lend to you guys, okay? Right? It's not like they're like rah, rah, rah. Now, systemically, yes, probably, but I'm telling you, banks want to lend, okay? The landscape is changing. There are still issues there, but banks want to lend to you. But how do you make that happen? Hey, how do you tackle those biases that we think are still in place? You know how you do that? You become twice as prepared. You hit them with that one too. Okay. What? I got my paperwork in order. I got my finances in order. I got my cash flow is good. I got my business credit set up over here. I got my liability set up over here. I'm good. Right? Like you have it set up so they can't say no. You're so good they can't say no. Right? So that's what we want to do, and that's what we want to help you do here. Okay. So just know, you guys, when you go in and you get denied by the bank, I don't want anybody to go home and be like, oh, well, that's it, right? And you'd be surprised how many people I've talked to that are just like, well, they said no, so that was it. Mm-mm. No, that should make you like let that propel you to try to figure it out, right? All right, well then, what's the next step? Okay. But I will say, if you ever get a denial, do not go right back out and start applying. Don't do it. Take a pause and just try to figure out what it is. Okay. So couple of things, like let's talk about your situation. Okay, some of you are startups, some of you are established businesses. Where are you at, right? Let me know where you're at. Are you pre-revenue? Are you you've been in business for a few years? What industry are you in? What is that, right? So let's take a few examples. Let's say you've been in business for 6 months. You're going to have probably a challenging situation if you're trying to go to the bank and get funded, right? Because they're looking at your time in business. Now there are other options. Might be able to qualify for a card, right? If you want to use your personal credit. But guys, you want to be investing your personal credit, okay? Have you ever heard of that? Invest your personal credit. I can't remember who said that, but I was like, ooh, I like that. And it made so much sense to me, right? You want to hold on to your personal credit for when you really need it. So, tip, and we'll get to this later, when you're establishing your business credit, you also want to simultaneously be working on your personal credit, because boom, when you hit that point, you just come out the gate like that. So our clients, let's talk a little bit more about our clients, right? We said they're referred to us from banks, from accountants, from other people in the finance industry, people in gap situations that were in growth mode, right? We talked about that. But we also help, if you're in a cash flow company, you need growth capital, assets, you have solid cash flow, but, not as much assets. If you need like a bridge loan and something like that, and that's waiting for like a capital event, we could also step in and help you with that as well. And mergers and acquisitions, buying a business, SBA, and then we do all the advisory services on that. And not to mention, when we talk about SBA, according to the SBA, that number one reason for failure of businesses is working capital. Okay. And here's an alarming statistic, too. In 2023, the SBA issued $34 billion in funding. A third of that went to female owned enterprises. Crazy, huh? All right. So before we get into the alternative financing game changer, right now let's just talk a little bit about traditional loans. And we've pretty much covered this, but we'll talk a little bit about the traditional loans, and then we'll step into alternative lending and how that is going to be beneficial to you. So, we will, and I won't go into all the super deep things today. We can go into that at the next meeting. But traditional bank loans, they're just as traditional as you can get, right? You got to have a repayment schedule. They typically require collateral, good credit, time in business. But banks are really, if you can get approved at a bank, then banks are great, right? You get great terms, you get great rates. So, and then also banks work with SBA, right? SBA loans that are backed by the government, right? Now that's traditional bank loans. And we already talked about how a lot of people can't get funding through the traditional bank methods, right? So let's hop on over to alternative financing, because you might not be as familiar with some of these options, okay? There's so many different options out there, but that's why it's important to work with an advisor and work with a platform that knows all of these different parameters, right? So, one of the cool things about alternative financing is the time in business, right? We touched on that. You can step in if you have 3 months time in business, $10,000 a month in cash flow, then you're looking at something like a smaller MCA loan. But, alternative financing also includes like crowdfunding. Okay. If you guys have heard of crowdfunding, comment crowdfunding. It also includes like angel investment, venture capital, but more so what it's really cool about alternative lending is it gives you private capital resources that what I love about what we do is we're able to really customize a tailored package and advocate on your behalf as well, if it fits, right? If it's a good fit, if we know that we can step in and we can really help you. But the really cool asset is stepping in and providing for clients that the bank would consider non-bankable, right? And for sometimes there's just a situation that businesses really need, assistance with. But what's really, I don't know if you guys knew this either, but alternative financing actually surpassed traditional bank financing. So that's pretty amazing. And the great thing about Domino Effects Group is it just pulls together all of these resources for you. You get that free finance blueprint, and after if you do decide that you want to move forward and you do find you have a good use of funds, and everything falls into place, then it's just a nice transition for you. All right, so guys, we talked about how women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, right? Well, I just want to give you some crazy stats because I like stats. And I don't know if that's necessarily a thing, but I like stats, and I just want to, plus this alarms me too sometimes, right? 53% of businesses owned by women are financed through personal savings. Self-funded, y'all, okay? Self-funded. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do it. There are ways to overcome that by establishing your business credit. What happens when you self-fund? Does anybody know what happens when you self-fund? Well, what happens is you start to dip into your personal. You start to dip into your personalization. You start to throw your DTI off whack. You start to get hard inquiries. All of these things that are going to basically, like, it's like you're running a marathon, right? And you can just taste that 50 grand. It's like right over there. And then all of a sudden, bloop, here comes a little block right in front of you. And that was that hard inquiry that you did. That was that, let me just try this random online lender and see what it can happen. And then just throw a wrench in there. So you guys, and then think about when you're doing that over and over and over again, right? So you don't have to self-fund, okay? There are other ways. Here's another stat. Men are 2 times more likely to gain 100,000, more than 100,000 in funding than women. Men get higher approvals. Okay. Men are getting higher approvals. So we need strategies. Okay. Strategies to get there. And that's what we're going to do. Now, what's really cool, we already said half of all businesses in the US are owned by women. Um, but, but the less than 2% venture capital, right? That's actually a little bit less for Black women. I believe it's around 0.39%. But you guys, you know what? We talk about that less than 2% of venture capital. And I think it leaves like a taste of, oh, well, then this is not attainable for me. And that's just not true. It is attainable for you. And there is a lot of capital out there. And it is something that you can get. It is something that you can reach. It's totally possible. You just can't get there expecting it. You have to get there, well, you have to get there knowing that it will happen with the work that you put in. So some of the women that we're working with, they do bookkeeping, consulting, nail salons, pet grooming, vets, doctors, physicians, tax empires, okay, multiple locations, a lot of home care facilities. So real estate, transportation, even though those are two high risk industries, okay. So, all right, you guys, now what are the 4 things? This is what we're going to be covering today. The 4 things that you need to know to negotiate the best terms for credit and financing for yourself. I put this together because, in my opinion, I feel like I really wanted to start this first class coming into this, kind of starting at the basics here, and then we can tap into these and dive into these as you guys have more questions. But today, I really want to focus on these 4 concepts. It's what are the 4 things you need to know to negotiate some of the best terms? And guys, I've helped my clients get 75,000, 100,000. And I'm going to go into this one that we're doing right now. We've helped them reduce their payments from, MCA payments that were like $30,000 a month, reduce that down. But how to do this is part of coming prepared, right? So that's part of these 4 things that I'm talking about. So let's start with the first one, which is come prepared. So you want to know what your situation is. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, don't just be in your business and be like, oh, everything is fine. Like every be like, oh, everything is fine. Everything is working for me. And never look at your financials. Don't look at your payroll. Don't look at the expenses that are going out. Don't live, almost operate in this kind of like, if I don't look at it, then it's fine. And that's not the way you want to operate, because what typically happens and what we see is that for clients that do that, they're coming in at the last and the last minute when they're having a situation, right? Oh, I have this emergency. I have this crisis. I need money right now, right? Or I don't know what I'm going to do. And in those type of situations, and I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? But you don't ever want to be asking for money in that type of situation. So coming prepared ahead of time is really going to give you an edge, right? So there's some strategies that you can do to do this, right? Before you go to, and I know that when we want to rush to get things done sometimes, but I can tell you when you're operating from a space like that, it won't get done. It might get done for a while, but eventually that system is going to fall apart. Give me 1 sec. I got to get my charger. All right. So eventually that system, you guys, is going to fall apart. So it's super, super important. Give me 1 sec here. Plug this bad boy in. Boom, boom, boom. There she goes. Ooh. She does not want to go. She said no. Okay. I'm going to have to hold it, and I don't want to. All right. So come prepared. Now, these are very general, right? Implement receipt tracking, document cash on a spreadsheet. For other services, we're in 2024. You can document your cash on a spreadsheet. I do that. Or you can use an automation tool. You can use tools like QuickBooks, right? But you want to be documenting and measuring what is coming in and what's going out. Okay, because not only does it make you look very well prepared and put together and credible when you go in and when you approach a banker, when you're going to ask. Here's the thing: when you're going to go ask somebody for money, just know that come with the expectation that they're going to ask you questions, right? If you don't want to get asked questions, then go online and then take your chances filling out with those predatory lenders online, right? But we're not doing that. Okay, that's an old behavior. We're moved on and we're going to do something different, right? So doing something different means stepping out of what's comfortable. So look at your money, right? Sometimes for women, sometimes for diverse businesses, for diverse groups, talking about money, maybe you didn't grow up talking about it, or maybe it was uncomfortable. So get comfortable with it. And if you're not, get an accountant, right? Get an accountant, get somebody, but you need to have somebody on top of it. Use things like invoices. You have to have a business bank account, right? So stay on top of your revenue, your cash flow. Why? Because when you've got cash flow, we're immediately going to let you know, hey, this option's opening up for you. You might be qualifying for some revenue based capital as you start to grow, right? If your revenue is consistent and you're not overdrawing, you're staying on top of everything, that's amazing, right? Hey, now we've got you to the next, we can help you get to the next step, right? What can help you is writing down all your strengths and weaknesses. And I know that sounds corny, but it's not. All right. So write down all your strengths and weaknesses. I was just in our fourth wave accelerator group earlier. And that's what we did that. We wrote down our strengths, we wrote down our challenges, because it helps to be self-aware, guys. Self-awareness is power, y'all. Is power. Okay. When you know, oh shit, man, I gotta get this fixed. I gotta get this done. You're either gonna move into action or you're gonna put it off. Okay, you only have two options. So you're either gonna move into action or you're either gonna put it off. And what happens when you put it off? Nothing. So I suggest, think about it. What do you want to do? You want to move into action. So write down what your strengths are. Write down what your weaknesses are. Maybe your weakness is you have those systems set up, right? But you don't have them like in order, or maybe you have the systems, but you don't have them linked yet, right? Oh, I haven't had the time to actually link them together. So that would be something like, hey, just take a moment, slow down, and just take a day, right? Even a couple of hours, get all that stuff set up, right? So you just save yourself a headache in the end. And then, let's say you have damaged credit, okay? If you have damaged credit, let's tackle this, because this is a good portion of people, and was myself as well. If you have damaged credit, it's okay. But the one thing that you do not want to do is to just keep going out there and just freaking hoping that, I'm going to just shoot my shot and I'm just going to hope that maybe this time something sticks. You don't want to do that, because every single time you do that, all you're doing is, first of all, you're taking a mental toll on yourself, right? God damn, didn't work again, right? Like, that's irritating. You're basically banging your head in the wall, right? Has anybody ever felt like you were banging your head in the wall like that? So, you want to strategize, right? So, if you have damaged credit, don't keep going online and hoping and shooting your shot, right? I would even say, maybe hold off on going into the bank, right? The bank is looking for a 700 credit score and you have a 580. Why are you doing that? Right? Why are you doing that? You have a 580. So it's not going to happen. So don't do that, okay? Especially because the bank does a hard hit, which means it is going to show up. Okay? So don't do that. They're not going to tell you not to apply. They're going to be like, "Well, yeah, well, go ahead, shoot your shot," right? Knowing that you ain't got nothing in there. Okay, so you have to be strategic. Okay, and you can leverage yourself. So you can leverage yourself by doing things, utilizing tools like PayPal and things like that, because PayPal actually they do capital, working capital, when you have when you get to a certain cash flow. So it's a really good option, but understanding where you're coming from, where you're operating from, gives you power. Okay, it gives you power. So don't look change your perspective, and sit there, and know kind of where you're coming from, so you can leverage that. All right, you guys. So let's hit the second one. Second one is build a relationship. A lot of people don't think about this. Okay, last time I checked, 21% of people did not have a relationship with their banker. Okay, um, build a relationship with your banker. Okay, uh, this you can leverage these relationships, and even if you don't qualify right now, they help you. Okay, they will help you. Just keep staying in contact with them. You want to have relationships with a regional banker. Thank you for coming in, guys. You want to have relationships with a regional banker, your local banker, and then even your community bank, right, or a CDFI, right? You want to develop these relationships. We work with a lot of bankers, like I said. I teach a lot of businesses how you can actually combine different products, term loans, lines of credit, things like that. But if you don't yet get there, hey, just check in with your banker every once in a while, making sure that you're staying on top of your accounts, right? You have everything separate, your checking account, your saving account, but leverage this, build your relationship, because as you grow, right, and you're going to stay in contact and you're reaching back out to them and you're letting them know they're gonna work with you and they're gonna help you, right? And but for a lot of our clients who aren't bankable, we step in and we offer that service. But we step in and we want to get you to a point where you are bankable. So that's the goal. Okay. So just recognize that you don't have to do this alone. Right. This whole concept of I did this on my own, I didn't need anybody else but me. That's a dead ass. That's old. Okay. We're not gonna operate that way. We can't grow like that, right? And then as a community, we have to be strategic. So we're not going to think like that. Build these relationships, build your network, utilize your resources. That's exactly why they're there. And maybe they'll really get into why you got denied. A lot of them cannot because of regulation, but doesn't mean that they don't want to work with you and they don't want to help you. So absolutely do that. Um, you know, build that relationship, you guys. But always, 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 always be truthful. Always be truthful. Always be honest, because man, I can't tell you how many amazing deals fell through because at the last minute something popped up and somebody lied. I'll give you an example right now. We have a client that we're working with, and we were doing we're doing a combination loan. So we were going to do over $1 million on a term loan and then 70,000 on the equipment finance. And basically what happened is we're getting all the way up to the very end of the point. They got on the call with the final call right before funds are distributed to the underwriter. And in the conversation with, they made a few statements that scared the lender off. The lender ended up changing their mind and backed out of the deal. Okay, backed out, which means that was the $70,000 equipment finance that they backed out of, and we're not even going to pursue the other one at this time, because what happened is that we found out some things that they were not upfront about. This is an issue that we could have gone around and we could have mitigated. Okay, it was an issue around ownership. He's purchasing his partner's ownership shares, but there was a fall through, that something fell through in the deal. However, they didn't share that. So when you got on the call with the underwriter at the last minute, he was like, "Oh yeah, I got nothing on this. The owner can come back and they could take this at any time. It's whatever." That's, guys, you gotta be truthful. You gotta be upfront. Why hide something? Especially think about it like this: if you're going to go out and you're going to request this funding, right? Say I'm going to go out, I'm requesting $100,000 because if I could just I have a plan to put it in place. If I could just get that 100 grand, it's going to propel me to the next step, right? But you're lying about, or you're not. There's something there that might pop up. There's a chance it might pop up. Do you want to take that chance? Because now you've just wasted 30 days trying to get this thing figured out. And now you literally ruined your relationship with the lender because you can't ever go back to that. You're flagged now. So, you have to be smart, be strategic, but be truthful. All right. Tell the truth, shame the devil, right? Tell the truth and shame the devil. So be truthful, don't lie. I think we had another one um, where one of the members actually went and took out a loan in the middle of the process and didn't say anything to the owner, to the other members of the team. We found it out in the due diligence. So be upfront, be honest. It's always, always the best way to go. And when we know, we can work with it. Now, if we can't, of course, we'll tell you, but we can typically get in front of a situation if we know exactly what's going on. All right, you guys. So the next thing that you want to do is you 100% want to understand what your options are. Okay. Remember, we talked about going out there and just applying randomly online. If any of you have gone out there and applied randomly, you're not alone. Okay. Just know that. But I would encourage you to say today, I commit to not do that anymore. I commit to strategize. I commit to being consistent. I commit to doing something different, right? Because we're going to do something different moving forward. Okay. So, what we're doing here is we're going to understand our options. Okay. Um, when you go into a bank and you're going to look for funding, they're really looking for if you have these things, if you have cash flow, if you have credit, if you have collateral. Okay. They want to know, like, what's your strength? Okay. Where are you operating from, right? Do you have assets? Do you have assets you can serve up as collateral? Maybe you have accounts receivable. Do you guys know what accounts receivables are? If not, that's okay. Just, give me a shout out, give me a DM, whatever. We can go over that in a different webinar. But you can use accounts receivables as collateral, right? If you have invoices, if you're selling to another business. And then also they're going to look at cash flow. Do you have consistent cash flow? Let's talk a little bit about the cash flow, guys, because I want to be clear up some things. Now, let's say you make $5,000 one month, and then another month you're making $1,000, or you're making $20,000 one month, and the next month is $5,000, and you've only been in business for about 3 months, 4 months. First of all, awesome. You've come out and you're hitting the gate. Pretty cool. Second of all, we have to be realistic. Okay, so what did we say? We said 20,000 as an example, 5,000 as an example, and I think 1,000 or something. So what is that? That's like a 20,000 in our example. So if you've made 26,000 total or 30,000 total in your cash flow in 3 months, right? If you go in and you're not going to get $100,000 loan. It's just not going to work. So, and that's okay. Okay, that is okay. It doesn't mean that you should still not get the funding that you need, especially if you can utilize it as a stepping stone to get to your next point. But you want to be realistic. Set realistic expectations for yourself. If your business is only generating $40,000 a year, that's fine. That's cool. You're still growing, right? You're getting there. And that's awesome, right? You're still growing. If you're only generating $40,000 a year, you're not going to get a $100,000 loan. It doesn't work that way, right? Because how are you going to pay that back, right? So be realistic and just give yourself some grace. Don't try to, really rush this process, because that's how you can end up with a predatory loan with a high interest rate with multiple NCAs. See it all the time. We've had people come in with like, you know, uh, I told you the $30,000 a month example. That's from an MCA. So MCAs can work and they can be beneficial to you if you have a good use for it. But if you don't know what you're getting the funding for, or what specifically it's going to go towards, if you don't have that use for it, then you can sometimes find yourself in a challenging situation. So it's really important to know what your options are. And if you go back to what we talked about before, right, coming prepared, sitting down, looking at your financials will help you figure out, oh shit, okay, this is where I am, right? I'm here. I know I need to probably drive some more customers, or I want to get some funding for marketing, right? How am I going to do that? Well, let's talk about an example. Maybe you don't have any cash flow. You're a startup. You're like, I don't have anything right now, but I need a funding to get to where I need to be. Well, you only have two options at that point. So I know you can either get a personal unsecured loan, right? So you have a 680 credit score, you're current on all of your payments, you don't have anything, less than 5 inquiries, less than four inquiries. Then you can qualify for up to 150,000, 200,000. At one time, Gene, our underwriter, we had a $600,000 funding on the personal side, but that guy had like, I mean, he was just everything was on point. So, and every situation is different. But when you don't have those things, you come prepared, right? And then operating from your strengths, right? And then knowing, okay, if I don't have personal credit, what can I do, right? So you have the two options, the personal credit option, or you can build your business credit. That's your best. Those are the only two options. Or you can continue to go in and get denied at the bank. Um, and there actually is a fourth option. If you have somewhat good credit and you go to the bank and you do get approved for a business credit, if you don't have business credit established, then you will get approved for lower amounts. Your personal credit was never used to fund a business. So while you can get approved for business credit and under your personal, it's only going to hit you so far. So remember what we said about investing your PG. Invest that. Utilize it when you're really gonna need it. So in the beginning, you shouldn't, if you don't have cash flow credit or collateral, you don't have to use your personal credit. You don't have to. You don't have to use your social, y'all. Okay? You just need to know the steps and the strategies, and you can start building your business credit. Okay? So you have options. Okay? There's so many different types of funding options. There's term loans. There's lines of credit. There's business cards. There's funding under your EIN, Net 30. There's all kinds of things, venture leases, sale leaseback. I mean, there's so many different situations for where you're at and what it is that you are trying to do in your business. So make sure that, ultimately you want to be reaching out and connecting with an advisor or utilizing a platform like this and getting that free funding blueprint so you know what all of your options are, right, guys? So, all right, here's the next thing you want to do. If you have collateral, then you want to present it, right? Use that collateral, okay? Especially, you might have heard of the SBA loan. I don't know if any of you have applied for the SBA loan. If you have, then let us know how that went. But SBA loans, they are, going to be looking at a number of different factors, but they will look at, first of all, you're going to be putting in a down payment. Okay. So you're going to put down a down payment with an SBA loan. But SBA is a government backed loan. Okay. And they work with the banks. And then you pledge some collateral to compensate, right, for the amount that you're borrowing. Now that could be 10%, that could be a 20% injection, right? So, you can leverage different things, right? You can leverage collateral, right? What we said, right? So you can leverage real estate. Most people know real estate when we think about collateral, but there's also the accounts receivable that I mentioned. And then there's also things like your 401ks, right? You can utilize your 401ks. And even your intellectual property. We're actually working with a client right now and utilizing their intellectual property. This is a client, they raised $35 million in equity, right? So we're giving them 10% of the amount that they raised. So I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes, but it's a pretty cool deal. All right, you guys, so let's keep going. So now you have some tools in your tool belt, right? Now you kind of know, all right, I feel like I can operate, Dom. I know I'm feeling pretty good about this, right? Hopefully you took some notes. But one of the things that you guys got to remember is ultimately we're giving you the tools so that when you're out here, you know what to look for, okay? We covered your strengths, we covered your weaknesses, how we've set you up so that you can, figure out where to look, right? What are going to be your best options, and really the strategies, the fundamental strategies that you should do and what you shouldn't overlook, right? Now, these are questions that you should always be asking yourself when you're looking for funding. Always, right? Can I get capital? Is this the right time, right? Is it something that's possible for me? What types of loans are available to me, right? What are my options? What are the funds going to be used for? This is super important, okay? Underwriters, lenders, credit issuers, investors want to know, what is this money going to be used for that we're giving you? What do you, if you say, oh, well, I don't really know yet, but but I was thinking that I might, buy some furniture and then I might go get a truck, but I don't really know what kind of truck yet. But I'm thinking I might do it, you know, but I'm not sure. Would you lend money to somebody that said if they came up to you and they were like, "Hey, can you lend me, $1,000?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, what are you gonna do with it?" Well, I think I might. You know what? I think I might go to the casino, hit up the casino really quick, right? Like that is not going to be beneficial for you, and you're not going to get funded. Okay, so knowing what the funds will be used for and how you're going to make a profit is going to easily propel you and make this transition so much smoother, right? And we can help you with that, right? We help you dial all of that stuff down. We're literally bringing together 40 years of merchant banking advisory experience with our team of placing loans, of all types within our database of lenders, and putting together these professional loan packages. So we're saving you this time, okay? Time is your most valuable resource, guys, especially in your business, okay? Especially in your life with your family. So it's your most valuable resource. So here's a couple of vendors just to thank you for being here and checking out the live and rocking with me tonight. Shirtsy, CEO, Quill, Uline, and we'll get to these too. These are all tier ones, you guys, accounts that you can utilize right now. Get started, get ahead. But do not go out and get started before you check all of your foundation. Do you have your credibility set up? Is your business set up properly? Is your business address? Do you have a business phone number? All of these, is it matching across all platforms? You need to have all of those in place. So before you get out there and you start, just applying, I would hate for you guys to, keep doing that. So let's talk about a quick success story, right? We covered a lot today, and I just love that you guys are still here, and I appreciate you so much. It just motivates me even more to come back and share more information with you guys. So make sure you're following and you're sharing if you find this information valuable and if it resonates with you. But I appreciate you all being here. And come in and join the community as well, because I'll have some announcements at the end of this if you stick with me. But, right now we have a client that we're closing at a daycare center. And, she's closing on an SBA loan right now. It's a amazing woman. Her family, it's a family owned. So we'll keep posted. We'll actually have her come on and we're going to do an interview with her as well. So she got a $750,000 SBA loan. So very, very, very excited about that one, you guys. And the goal is to get 10 more women funded by the end of the year, okay? 10 more women funded by the end of the year. All right, you guys. Now, I did some updated, oh, yay, it's here, it's on here. Yes, okay, so here we go. I hooked you up. So here are some ones that you can look into. Okay, we've got WEX, which is a fleet card. We've got Granger. We've got Wawa, eCredible, Maverick, General Motors, 7-Eleven, and Shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just gave you 9 free tier 1 vendors. Boom. All right. So I gave you 9 free tier 1 vendors. Come into the community. I'll actually put a list of this up, and then the video, this recording is going to be in the back office as well. So you remember how I told you go out there and apply, and then I was like, wait, you need to make sure that everything is set up correctly. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about monitoring your business credit reports, okay? Guys, get your business credit report, okay? And then even further than that. So before we even get there, some of you might be like, what are you talking about, Dominique? Business credit report. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. So with your business credit, it is different than your personal, okay? They're looking at your EIN. They want to see that you are a credible business, that you are operating from a solid foundation, right? So they're going to look at your EIN. They're going to look to see when you're applying, you're going to apply with your DUNS number. That's how you know you're doing it correctly. You are not using your social when you're applying for these tier 1 and building your business credit profile. When you are building your business credit profile, I repeat, you are not using your social when you are first establishing these tier 1 trade lines. I'll give you an example. If you go to one of these vendors, for example, WEX, right? I'll go back. For example, WEX, I had a client, they kept asking for their social. Okay. Now, WEX doesn't need your social. You can get they are a starter vendor, so they will extend you a tier one credit line using your EIN only if everything has been verified and set up correctly. So if they are asking for your EIN, you know right then and there you need to take a step back and go back. I'll give you another example, Home Depot. If they ask you for your social, there's something that's wrong, right? Something is off and you need to stop right there and go back. You do not want to keep just pushing forward or you're just gonna, bang your head against the wall, right? So business credit reports. We're talking about Dun and Bradstreet. I'm talking about Equifax Business. I'm talking about Experian, right? Some of those sound familiar. Probably not, maybe not Dun and Bradstreet, or maybe so, right? So, these are business credit reporting agencies, okay? Now, you might say, oh, I got business credit. I got a business credit vendor. Well, have you verified that on your business credit reports? Because only 10% of vendors actually report, right? Isn't that crazy? Only 10% of vendors actually report. And do you know it's because they don't have to. So they don't have to. It's not the same as it is on personal, where they have to like keep you informed and you get this letter and all this other stuff. No, that they don't have to do it. So you need to stay on top of it. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you can have a business credit profile and not even know it. So if you have a business that's registered, and if they find out that you have a business that's registered, then they might issue you a failing score. That happens all the time. So make sure that you're pulling your business credit reports. You can do that individually. You can go through the Dun and Bradstreet website. If you need those links, just DM me. I'll send it right on over. But you want to go on and you want to check those. Keep in mind you're going to be paying separately for all three, but we have a program where you can come in and you can just pay a very low fee and get all of them. And I'm telling you, it helps. You should not be establishing your business credit without getting your business credit reports. It's how you understand where you're at and what tier you need to move to and what needs to be fixed, right? Even further than that, has anybody ever heard of LexisNexis? Anybody ever heard of LexisNexis? So LexisNexis is like the granddaddy of your credit reports, right? So you absolutely want to be pulling your LexisNexis, and I have a tutorial on how to pull the LexisNexis, but I'm thinking I might do another one. I might do another quick one this weekend on how to just go in there and request your LexisNexis report. So you want to be pulling that. That has everything, like where you lived, every address you lived, anything you've ever done, parking, tickets, all of that stuff. But you need to take a look and make sure it's on there, because we've had clients that have had charges on there that didn't belong to them, or businesses on there that didn't belong to them either. So you have to check those things. And even another thing about your business credit reports, this happens all the time for our clients, and we've actually been able to go back in and help them fix it, is they they'll have a home address on one application and a business address on another and not know it. Or they have their home address, or they have themselves as the sole owner, and then they've got themselves and like their wife in another application. I was just talking with a client yesterday, and they said they had their old business address and then the new address that had not been registered, but they were applying under the new address while the old address was still registered. So those types of things are going to come up as red flags. They use systems, they use automation systems, right? These algorithms. So those are the first thing before they even look at your credit, your cash flow, or your collateral. Before it even gets there, they're looking at that first. So if that's off, boom, that's automatically a red flag. So make sure that you're staying on top of that. Okay. Now, there's many things that you can do, with your business credit besides separate your liability, which is awesome, right? Also give you flexibility in your cash flow, right? Which is cool. Who could use some flexibility in their cash flow, right? And then also, if you're looking for a house, right? If you're looking for a house, you don't need to be getting inquiries on your credit report, right? So, a couple of things that you want to be thinking about. Now, let's say you're in real estate, or let's say you're a contractor, right? You're a contractor. You're building a crew, and you want to add more routes, right? You can either go in and get financing under your personal, or you have a business now. You don't need to do that anymore. You don't need to go in and you don't need to use your social and get 22 different inquiries on your credit report. Okay. You don't need to get 8 different hard inquiries because you went to go get a Toyota, right? Like that's not cool. So now you have to understand that you have choices. Okay. That's a cool thing. You have choices, guys. So let me see if this pops up. Oh, bummer. Okay, so come into the group, then I'll post this up here with a link. But this link right here takes you to an example of Ford vehicle financing. All the vehicle financing that you can get under your EIN. Nothing associated with your personal. If you're in business, you don't ever have to get a car under your social. So make sure that you're looking into that. Okay, this whole atmosphere, the landscape is changing, y'all. All right, so we got to be prepared. You got to be prepared. You got to be on top of it. You got to face some ugly truths and celebrate some small wins, right? So, recognize that, like I said, you got options, and it's amazing. So I'm going to throw in a little thing here because I did have a couple people reaching out to me about grants and things like that, and we are a funding platform, we refer out for people that are looking for grants and things like that in the network. But when I come across something that's amazing, I want to share it with you guys. So I'll keep the links. I'll post the links if you want it. You can reach out to me, and I'll send it to you directly. But for those of you on Instagram who can't see it, we've got the Y Combinator Fall 2024 grant, Good Impressions pro bono grant for minority and LGBTQIA businesses. That one's due at the end of the month on the 31st. We've got the Grind Pretty Fast Pitch competition. Has anybody ever done a pitch competition here? Comment pitch, DM pitch if you've done a pitch competition. I'm literally doing one. I'm doing 2 at the end of the month this month, and then one in November. So, and a lot of fun. We'll dive into those as well. But here are some. So those are some grants, you guys, if you're interested. I don't mind sending you that list so that you can go in and check it out. All right, you guys. Now, just say to yourself, I deserve to get funded, because you do deserve it, but you deserve it if you commit to it and if you're consistent and if you're committed to following the steps, right? So tell yourself that. I want you all to say, I deserve funding, but I'm committed to actually making the changes and implementing these steps that we're talking about today, right? Now, we went over a lot. So let me just recap really quick, because what's empowering about this is I just really love what I do. And you guys, we've never been exposed to this. This is like the game, right? We've never been exposed to the game like this, okay? So it is absolutely crucial that, I hope you got that pen, you got that paper out, right? Because 2024 is creating new avenues, is creating new ways of accessing capital for you, for your business, and more opportunities for women, more opportunities for diverse businesses like never before, you guys. So really want to help us all get there, right? So we went over the fundamentals. We went over the fundamentals about getting capital with no PG, which is a personal guarantee. We went over lenders, okay? We went over the different types of loans you can get. We went over some tier 1 vendors. Even gave you some examples. And DM me if you want those examples sent to you and the links, okay? But if you're ready, we got a little bit more, and then I'll let you guys go, okay? But we got a little bit more because it's just fun, right? It's just fun. So we got a little bit more. But here, I want to ask you guys this. What could you do with $50,000? What would you do if you had $50,000 in your business right now? What would that change for you? Okay, what would that allow you to invest in that marketing campaign that you know that would just push you right over, the edge in a good way? Is it for, that inventory? Okay, is it what is that? What is that trajectory for you that's gonna really just push you over, right? Could it be that equipment that you need, right, or that vehicle that you need, to add that crew, right? What is it that you need? Maybe you're a startup and you need the funding to build out the product, right? So what is it? Okay. If you got approved for that $50,000, what would you do with it? Give it some thought, guys. Spend some time on it. Okay, spend some time on it, and because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna get this $50,000, and like I said, I'm gonna go to the casino, I'm gonna go shopping, and I'm gonna just hope and pray that maybe I come up with some way to pay it back. No, 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 no. Okay. We're not going to be doing that anymore. Not from this point forward. We want to be a place where you can use that money. You want to have FU money, right? That passive income money, but how to get there. So, steps. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace and steps, right? There's an order of operations in order to do so. My phone just keeps going to the right. I don't know why it keeps going further. But there's an order of operations in order to do so. So, let's go over this because in my line of work, I've been very fortunate and very blessed to be around some amazing people in this industry, investors, bankers, merchant, all kinds of, people in real estate, fintech, everything, right? Acquisitions. And I'm actually going to have a gentleman come in 2 months, and he's got a very, very large company, very, very large portfolio. We're talking like millions and millions and millions of dollars of assets under management. This gentleman does seller financing. Okay. Seller financing is an amazing concept. So I'm going to have him come in. I'm going to have him break it down. If any of you guys have ever heard of seller financing, where the seller comes in and acts as the bank, it's a really great option for the seller and for the buyer as well. For me personally, one of my goals is to build a portfolio of 5 cash flowing businesses one day. Got to start with a portfolio of other cash flowing businesses one day. So go in and purchase them and take them over, and then scale them. So that's my goal. So I'm going to be bringing in James, and James does this all the time. He seller finances homes all across the country, and also businesses as well. So this is a way. Why am I talking about this? You're like, how did she even segue into this? Well, because I want to talk about some of the ways that you can use the funding, right, as passive income, right? So you can use there are tools. If you've ever heard of OPM, right, other people's money, that leverage, right? And we always talk about leverage. Leverage is one of my favorite words. Oh, I have 4: commit, consistency, leverage, preparation. Commit, consistency, leverage, preparation. Those are like buzzwords here at the Domino Effect and Domino Effects Group. So, put that in a song. Okay, so put yourself in a position to win, you guys. Passive income opportunities. Get the funds, use the funds, flip the funds. You know what I'm saying? That's what the largest companies have been doing in the world. And guess what? You know what's a trip? The wealthiest individuals in the world, you know what they do? They bought businesses. They bought businesses. Most people think about real estate, right? Most people are thinking, and yes, real estate is a good investment, but most bought businesses. Man, think about BlackRock, right? Their whole portfolio, they bought other businesses. Think about the Mars family. Okay, the Mars family. What do they have? They have all the candy: Skittles, Mars, Snickers. What about all of these companies that are buying up the Arnott family, the one that Salma Hayek married, right? She married into that family. They have a whole portfolio of luxury brands. They bought Tiffany. They bought Louis Vuitton. They have even that fancy chocolate, Moet, or no, that's a champagne, Moet and Shandong, I think it. And I mean, think about that, right? Some of the wealthiest individuals in the world have bought businesses. So, what are your goals? What are your goals? Ultimately are you shooting for? Because you have a business, right? But what's that deep reason that you're working to get, right? maybe it is just to have a business that you can pass on to your kids, and they have we have a generational legacy that we have within our family, which can be very strong and be very powerful. Maybe though you have a different vision and you want to build a business and sell it, right? You want to scale to a huge company and you want to sell it for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay, no matter what the situation is, it's important to put yourself in a position to win, because owners, right? When you're an owner, um, you care about things differently, right? I was listening to this as well. They were talking about, like with education, where kids go to school and stuff like that. Public schools. When you have ownership, you have more invested in your community. What's going on? You care more about who is representing you. So it's about we have to do a mindset shift, guys. And there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't be ashamed to do that, right? Or even admit that you want to change and work towards a better income goal for your family, or better legacy for yourself, or you want to create impact, whatever that is, right? You want to be recognized, you want to be on TV, right? You want to be famous because you created some amazing product, right? Whatever that is internally for you, whatever that is, that's what you're going to use to propel you through this journey, right? Especially as, if you're facing declines or whatever. But whatever that is for you, maybe down the road you're like, oh, I want to use this and I want to buy, properties, I want to do investments, then that's what you should be doing, okay? Passive investments, right? This is what like I said, a lot of our clients end up doing. So, you can do things like renting out your car when we talk about vehicle financing. I know a lady who rents out she gets vehicles, right, under her business name, and she rents them out, but not to anybody. She only rents it out to a certain clientele. So, high-end clientele, she will only rent it out, and then they use her cars for like, modeling shoots and, different like videos and stuff like that. So you may think that those people actually own the car, but they're renting it out. They're renting it from somebody. So you could do something like that. You could get business credit, establish business credit, and you could do something like that if you're in the industry, right? If you're in entertainment, or maybe you're a model, or you're in the car, industry, whatever, right? That's something that you could be doing. So, and that was just one lady, right? And she's crushing it. And like I said, she has a very niche market. Okay, she's not out here just letting anybody take her car. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the stuff on the news where people tried to rent out cars and then they just take off across state lines, right? So there's like a vetting process to it, of course. And then also, right, we talked about investing in a business, mergers and acquisitions. Okay, some of the biggest, most wealthiest people in the world have partnered, have gotten wealthier by purchasing businesses. I told you guys, this is my ultimate goal, is to grow this platform, okay, to be the best platform for women in diverse businesses to access funding, and as not just the funding, but the education and the resources and the connection, the capital, the foundation, matching founders to funders. That's exactly what this is. 25 million in funding by 2025. Let's do it, right? Now, with this deeper than that though, that's my goal for the platform. To add on to that, I want to build a portfolio of cash flowing businesses. I want to continue this ownership. What's the alternative? The alternative is larger institutions are going to come in and continue to buy out all of the smaller guys. Think about Walmart, right? All of the smaller businesses that closed around in the communities, because when they came in, they pretty much dominated, right? So we want to change that, right? And create a nation of owners and not a nation of, renters. So on top of that, you guys can also look at things like affiliate marketing, okay? You can partner with organizations like us. We partner with other organizations that we don't necessarily do this, but I really like what they do. So if you guys are familiar with the Netflix model, everybody's familiar with the Netflix model, right? But what they do is they take it, so a lot of your medications, rather than having to pay the large prescription fees, you pay a monthly fee. So it's a monthly fee of around $20, and you can get your medications. It's the same medications. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it, and you can build residual. So if you're interested in something like that, you can build hefty residual. Now, I think ultimately the best thing that you can do is is partner with us. Okay, you don't need experience to partner with us. We literally provide you with the website, with the tools, with everything that you need, to get you started with the process, onboarded. It's very a simple process. Now, a lot of our people leverage our platform differently. So we have people that will email us directly, or they utilize their back portal and they utilize their affiliate link. So it really just depends on you. But remember, guys, most banks, they can't lend to most people. Okay. So you can really step in as a resource for the people around you as well, especially if you're in the chamber, or even we've had clients that are in the automotive industry and, or even in the fitness industry, and they wanted to offer products to their clients, but the clients couldn't get it. So they became partners with our platform so that we're able to help, the clients with getting what they need as well. So everybody wins in the end, right? So we have many different solutions for you, however you want to come on, you guys. Because remember what the SBA said, number one reason for failure for most businesses is, that working capital. So we absolutely want to be that resource for you. And we know that we can. So we want to, put us to the test, and, let us prove it to you. And if it's something that we can't do, we'll let you know. But we absolutely will look into it. But we're hyper focused on women, on diverse businesses. We want to support you. We want to support your clients in the best way possible because, it can be difficult to get funding, but it's more frustrating when you don't know what your next step is. So you definitely have, a strong network here with us, with our team, with our advisors, and, some really great referral fees as well, you guys. So we do a really nice rev share. And then on top of that, we have a lot of lending products, and we do dive into that training. Okay, SBA loans, asset-backed loans, equipment financing, subordinated debt. So if there is already a bank loan in place, we can step in and offer some additional financing. So term loans, lines of credit, whatever that is. But here's the best thing: you don't necessarily have to go figure that out on your own. Okay, you don't have to do it on your own. Now you know where to go. Let's say you're in business and you don't really know what the best product is for you. You may think that you need this big, large working capital loan, but actually what you need is like a line of credit, which could work out better for you, right? You got a line of credit instead of having this fixed monthly payment. You're paying as you utilize it and then replenishing it. So it really depends, right? Someone who might need an SBA product might need something totally different than someone who's looking for just that equipment. If you're looking for equipment and you get like a working capital loan, that might be a higher interest rate than if you were to get an equipment financing loan, which usually has single digits. So these are the kind of things that, you want to be reaching out and speaking with an advisor, because the platforms are great, right? Online lending is great, but we need that human element too. And then for the clients that don't get funded right away, really diving into the next step, right? Okay, well, what do I do now? What is the next, what do I do next, Dom? Right? What do I do next, Dom? So that's what we walk you through. And again, you don't have to be an expert in any one of these guys. You get all the training, but then again, we have other people who are like, I'm just going to refer over. So I don't need to know all of this stuff. I'm just going to send you over. But most people like to be involved with their clients, and we love that. So it's full transparency as well, because it's important to know what you're talking about, right? Important to know what you're talking about, important to know your options, but you don't have to know everything. So I know I said this before, give yourself some grace. You don't have to know everything, okay? And you don't have to do it alone. And so just know we went over like some of the products and what we do. And, we can talk a little bit about if you are considering coming on and referring other people over, then what that kind of looks like, what our ideal client looks like. And really, you know, it's businesses, it's anybody that's ready to execute. Okay. So we're ready to work with anybody that's ready to take this seriously and execute, right? And then also ask your questions, okay? Because whether you're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're a painter, you're a doctor, you know, a wholesaler, manufacturer, e-commerce, whatever that looks like, um, everybody borrows money, okay? Everybody borrows money, and we help assist with getting you guys that capital so that you're not, you know, falling into predatory lending traps, right? That would suck. That does suck. Um, and uh, and so you want to be aware of that. So, but for general, here are some of the best industries that we typically work with, which would be like construction, plumbers, healthcare, home builders, restaurants, okay, restaurants, retail, anything with a brick and mortar, uh, medical, like I said, doctors, clinicians, physicians. You're opening up a new clinic. We're actually working with a client right now. They have this laser device, which is pretty cool. It like sucks all the fat out, and the laser will basically what they're doing is they were like leasing out the product, and now what they're going to do is they're going to be opening up their own locations, like facilities all over. So they're going to put this device into these different locations. So essentially taking themselves from making $200,000, right, one time to $1 million, y'all. Okay, like pretty crazy how their model works, but it's very, very interesting. Once we get all that simplified, we'll dive into that one too. But very, very, very cool company, right? This machine like sucks the fat out of you, and you don't need the doctor. Like it's like a LASIK type of thing, like a laser thing. So pretty cool. Anyway, so manufacturing, grocery stores, gas stations, convenience stores, landscaping, seasonal, childcare, private schools, nail salons, beauty salons, e-commerce. I get a lot of questions about nonprofits. So nonprofits, you're typically going to be working with a grant writer, or 100% you need to be establishing your business credit. 100%. If you're a nonprofit, you need business credit. 100%. And then we went over some of the platform benefits. Actually, let me go over that a little bit more, because on the benefits, we went over like the commissions, right, that are strong when you come on and you refer clients over, because just saying thank you, right? Thank you for helping us continue to create impact and reach more people, because that's the only way we're going to be able to really level the playing field, is making sure that you have access to these education, to the steps, to the strategies to get the funding, right? So please share this information, share this video. It's free resources. But you get literally dedicated advisors. We work with you every week. We have weekly training. So just really leverage the platform. But ultimately, it's up to you how you want to work with the partnership. So reach out to us, 888-488-4145. You can text partner, and one of our advisors will reach out to you as well. But you're going to get access to multiple lenders on this platform that will help you with getting onboarded and getting acclimated to the system as well. So it doesn't cost you anything, okay? A lot of other platforms are like, oh, yeah, just pay this fee and then you come in, and no, we're not going to do that, okay? We want you to come in and we want you to get educated. So we want you to get educated. That way you're operating from a position of leverage, right? Now you have leverage. Now you can go in there and you can be like, listen, I'm ready for this. And that's going to be amazing, because then we can just continue to watch your growth, right? See how you continue to just really expand, you guys. So if you had all of this stuff, tools, you know, everything ready to go right now, how much would that help you and impact you, right? What could that do for you? If all of just so I want you to spend some time. There's going to be some homework for you tonight, so I want you to spend some time thinking about that, because you can do these strategies that I talked about. You can absolutely do them on your own. Okay, so you can utilize our free resources. You can utilize the free business credit guide that I have, and then you can follow us on our YouTube channel, where every week we're going live for class. And now, if you want to speed up the process, then we have a program that we work with you as well to help you with moving up the funding process much quicker. So what does that look like? Well, if you do this on your own, you're going to be looking at, it typically takes 3 to 5 years to get this done on your own, or you can shorten that time 6 to 9 months. Okay. We have people that have done it less, but they're just like, go, 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 go right out the gate. They're like, I need to get this done. Okay. And so, is that you? You know, it could be you and other people that are like, I'm not like, I have other clients that are like, I'm still trying to get my business registered, right? But I encourage you to continue to move quickly, um, because we want to help you as well move through this process. So it really depends on how quickly you want to move. We give you the advising, the mentorship, the step by step, the community. I mean, everything that you need to really propel yourself and really take it off. So if you will have this program. What we have is the Business Finance Suite. You'll have it forever, for as long as you keep your login. Okay, so like 20 years from now, if I ever add, a module, or we add a module, or we update the system, and we just did update the system, and it looks good. Okay, it looks good. So if you want to see what that looks like, send me a message. We'll set up a call, and I'll show you what it looks like, because it looks good. Okay, and so if I ever add a module, then you'll get access to the private community. But you get, a list of businesses, business grants. You get access to all of our, when James comes in and talks about creative financing, which is another name for solid financing. So those are the options that you have. You get guided instructions, guaranteed pathway to funding, personal advising with myself, and then your additional teammates, and then 24/7 access to the program as well, right? But you guys, so you have all of this when you join the program. So it's $29.97 for all that I mentioned, the courses, the business plan, the funding strategy, but you have lifetime access to this program, to myself, and to your advisors, and everything. But really, you just got to ask yourself where you're at, right? Always start with your free finance assessment. But as soon as you start this course, and you're on your way to getting the funding that you need. So if you're committed, if you're consistent, then 100% you can get there within a matter of months. Okay. Like I said, I see it happen all the time, but I also see it get dragged out if people just decide, oh, well, I'm too tired. Well, if you're too tired, then you're going to drag it out, right? So get up and let's get this done, right? So, we can work out a lot of different options. I understand, $29.97, but there's a lot of value that you get into this. So is that worth being able to get the 50,000 that you need to grow your business, right? It's really up to you. We have clients that have gone from, they had tax liens. I mean, all kinds of situations, you guys. So, do the course, take advantage, invest in yourself. Don't waste any more time. And then also make sure you're coming into the community. And if you decide that that's the way you want to do it, you want to, go that route where you're doing it on yourself, that's fine too. Make sure, like I said, you come to class. We do that every week, and then you just send me your questions and things like that. So, but I highly, highly recommend that you come into the program, you come into the finance suite, you get started. You do not want to wait, and we are going to help you get to where you need to be to get the funding that you need. But even more than that, you guys, is this community. We're approaching the end, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, so proud of us that we got through tonight, right? And now I'm hoping that you're leaving with a little bit of insight on how you could possibly do things just a little bit differently, right? Maybe you're going to come out of this and you're going to sit down and you're going to go, oh, you know what? Maybe let me just go take a look at my budget. Let me just take a look, right? When you go and do that, it's going to put you in a position of power. Okay. Even if it's not where you want it to be. Now you know, okay. Now you know what you need to work on. My goal is to see more fundings come across my desk. Okay. I'm underwriting applications every single week. okay? Now I'm sharing with you all of the details, the tools, the specifics of what our underwriters are looking for, what the lenders are looking for, so that you can get educated and get that knowledge, right? So that we can get in front of it. Because as somebody who learned the hard way over and over and over again, there's an easier way to do it. So I want to share that with you. And if you found this information helpful, if it resonated with you, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that you like this channel, that you subscribe, and that you are sharing with your community. And if you want to come on as a partner, then go to our website, dominoeffectsgroup.com, click on About, and then partner with us. And then fill out that form, and we'll be reaching out to you and talking with you along those. But if you're interested, just as well as come into the community, engage, ask your questions. We have really cool events that are coming up. In September 14th, we have an event in Sacramento called Show Her the Money. This is for women in business, men in business, to come in and celebrate the founders, because you always hear, oh, there's not enough capital, oh, they're not funding me, oh, this. We need to get out of that mindset, okay? It's out there and it's ready for you. You just have to do the right steps to get to it, okay? That's it. So all you're going to do right now is you're going to claim it moving forward. I claim that I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to take ownership of my business right now from this moment forward. I'm going to come to class every single week, and I'm going to ask questions so that I can get to where I need to be. Okay, so guys, I'll send you, actually go to my Linktree. Go to the Linktree. The Linktree has all of the links that are up and popping, so just get in there. You don't want to wait, okay? Because I'm telling you, 2024 is all about, we're almost done, okay? We're stepping into 2025, and there is so much opportunity on the horizon. I can't wait to share it with you. If you want those grants, send me a message. I'll send those over to you. Or no, join the link, join the community, and I'm posting the grants up in there. So come on in, get it. And I appreciate you all for being here. Once again, I'm Dominique. It is my passion to help businesses, to help female founders, and to help you guys access capital, to level the playing field, increase economic mobility, and really save some stress, save you some time, save you that headache, right? Of what do I do next? Okay. Like, they may have pulled the resources outside from your direct pathway, but that's okay, because now I'm putting them straight to you through our platform, right? Thank God for social media. All right, you guys. Well, if this resonated with you, again, like, follow, share. I appreciate you all. Tomorrow we'll be back on talking about how to get approved for an SBA loan. And then at the end of the month, we're talking again about the power of partnering with DFX Group, Domino Effect Group, DFX. All right, you guys, I appreciate you all for being here. If I say your name wrong, I apologize. Bowdy Bob, San, True Fit, Mrs. Rushni, Bradley, Bamana, Hakim. You know what? You know who you are. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all. Bye.